Here we are going to see how to create the WordPress theme from scratch. We are not going to copy paste. We will write each and every line of the code. Fine. This is the theme I have created. This is a simple theme. We're just going to focus on the code. Fine. These are the blog posts which you can see. If I click on a blog post, you will see the particular post shows up. Along with you can leave a comment as well. So these all things are dynamic. This theme is created from scratch. From the folder till each line of code is created by us. We are going to do it in 40 minutes. Fine. Now this is the home page which shows all the blog post, and on the sidebar you can see these are the recent post, and you can navigate through that sidebar as well. Now this is the image which is showing up on the home page, and this is another page. The home page is a post, and the about and contact are the pages. If you know what you mean, what WordPress means, you will know. So if you click, these are the authors which I'm showing right now. If I click, you will get the author specific post, and you're getting the categorized post which is uncategorized at now. These are the files which we are going to create. So inside that we have only one theme, so let's install the WordPress first, which is the latest version. I have installed it, so this is the folder. Let me rename it. So this is our project name right now. So let's create a database. Now inside the themes we have three default theme. Let me delete it and start from scratch, and let me name my theme as my name. And let's install the WordPress. It is asking for the language. It is asking for the database name which we have created right now, and the username is root and the password is nothing by default, and it is asking for the site title and the username and password so that you can log into the dashboard whenever you need. So this is the title, the username, password, and give your email ID if required. And now you can log in with your created account credentials. Now we are logged into the dashboard. Now if you see in the themes, we have only one theme which is showing error because we have deleted it. So let's create a folder. We have already done it. Let me open it on my Visual Studio Code. We need to create some set of files to show the theme on that page. So the first file is index.php. The second file is style sheet, which is style.css, which I will be creating inside the folder name, inside the folder Vishal, which is my name, which is considered as a theme name now. New file, style.css. So these style.css have some comment at the top. So with the help of the comment, the WordPress identifies the name of the author, the name of the theme, and so on. Now if you see a file has been mistakenly added, let me delete it. Now we have to start commenting. So by this comment, WordPress understand what is the theme name. So template name, which is our theme name, and we can give the version of the theme, and the description about the theme, and the author of the theme is myself. Now we need a screenshot image. So for that, let me Google a screenshot image. The screenshot image should be of a PNG. So search on the Google in such a way where you get PNG. So this is a PNG. I'm downloading it on the theme folder which we have created now, and we have to name it appropriately, which is screenshot. The name should be screenshot only, or else it won't show up. Screenshot.png. And now if you reload, your theme will be appeared over here. Now if you see, If you click on theme details, you are getting the name, version number, description and author. Now let's activate it. So once you activate it, the first thing what will be called is the index.php. We have deleted the themes, we have seen the dashboard. Now we need to create some HTML. So for that we have already created a page called index.php. Let me show you. So when you get into the site, the first thing that loads is the index.php. So let me show you. This message will be shown when you get into the website. Fine. Now let's create an HTML. We need the title and the description to be dynamic. So for that, let me set the title and description first. In the WordPress, this is how we set the title and description. The tagline is the meta description. Fine, the site title and tagline. Let me save it. And let me call this into our index page. So how we are going to do it? We have a function called blog info. Now at present it's document. Blog info is a function. We need to pass a parameter called name to get the title of the page of the website. Now if you refresh, the document has been changed to the title, which is dynamic. Now let's add a meta description. The same way we will be using the blog info function, we need to pass the description as a parameter to get the meta description. Now if you get into the source code, you'll see the description has WP3 from scratch by UI Monk. The title and description are dynamic now. The next thing, we have to link the style sheet. So before linking, let me add the WP head and WP footer. Let me show you what it does. It will add some default styles and functions to it. Let me add a WP footer as well. So just by adding the WP footer, we'll get the top bar of the WordPress. So if you see, there is no top bar. Once I refresh it, the top bar shows up. This is because of this WP footer. So if I refresh, it won't show up now. So if I commit, it won't show up now. Let's add our bootstrap. I'm going to use the bootstrap 4 latest version, so that we will be just focusing on the code, but to look a little code, I'll be using the bootstrap classes. So we need to we have already created a style.css, but now we need to link it. To link it, we are again going to use the same function, which is blog info style sheet directory, sorry, style sheet URL. You can also pass style sheet directory, you can also pass style sheet URL. Fine. Now let me create some blog posts using the dashboard so that we can see them on the index page. So let me create some blog post. I'm going to create 3 blog posts, and by this time I would like you to see that there is no option for uploading image on the sidebar. I just want you to notice that. I'm creating the blog post now, but at this time of publishing, I don't get the option for uploading image. So we'll set it in a minute or in this video. So this is the second function, sorry, the second post, and this is third post. Let me name it appropriately so that we can distinguish between each of them. And this is third, and we need to add the excerpt as well. So it is like a short summary for your post. Again, I'm showing that there is no option for uploading image. So this is the excerpt text. So excerpt, as I said, this is a summary for your whole post. Once you paste it, click on publish, and now if you get into the all post, you can see all the created posts now. Now we don't need the hello world. Let me delete it. Fine, we have 3 posts. Now we want these 3 posts to be visible on the index page. So for that, we are going to use a loop, while loop, and before using while loop we will be checking whether there is a post or not. To check whether the post is there or not, we will be having a function called have post. It's a plural posts. And before getting into the while loop, so that we can loop through the post, I'm checking whether there is a post or not using the if else condition. So let's simply add a text, yes post is there, and on the else, no post is not there. We have just created 3 posts, so the first block should run. So it says yes post is there. Now that's working. So in this section we are going to run the while loop. Again, the while loop, we are going to have the same function, have post function, and to access individual post we will be using the post. As I said, to access individual post we will be using the post singular. These are the default function which we need to remember. Also end the while now. Now let's display just the title. To get just the title, we'll be having a function called the title. Now if you see, we will just get the title, first post, second post, and third post. Now we want the post to be on the card, which is of a bootstrap design. Inside the card header we need title, and inside the card body we need the summary of the post. To get the summary of the post, again we have a function called the excerpt. Now we are getting the title and the excerpt in the card design of bootstrap. Along with that, I just want to know who is the author created and what is the time the post was created. Now before that, let me paste all this thing into a container so that we can get some space on left and right side of the post. And in the header I would like to add the title and description so that it looks like some website. Inside the heading 4 I would like to have the title of the website, and inside the paragraph I would like to have the description of the website. Now if you refresh, so let's add some background color to it. We'll go through the bootstrap class, which is, let's add a before that let me add padding and padding on both the sides, top and bottom and left and right. Let's give the text color to white, the text color as white. These are the bootstrap classes. Fine. Now let me have this title of the post inside the heading. Fine. The next thing, we would like to show the author. Simple, just like the title, just like the excerpt. Now it's the author, and to know at which time the date the post is created, and again we have a similar function like the time. Now if you refresh, we're getting the name as well as the time. And what I need is, when I click on the title, I want to show the full content of the post. Now we are just seeing the excerpt, which is a summary of the post. When I click on the title, I want to see the full post. So for that I need anchor tag, and this anchor tag should refer to a link. So the WordPress gives a function called the permalink, which will take you to the full post, and the function name is the permalink. Now if you refresh, it is getting it is getting you to the new post, but it is not actually the new post because the page we have not created, and that's why it is getting the same index.php frame. So now what I'm going to do is, let me create a sidebar and a main section as well using the bootstrap class. We have to show the post on the call md8. The call md4 is for the sidebar. Fine, that is working. The next thing, we are going to separate the header and footer. So these are the section which belongs to header. Let's create a new file on the theme which is header.php, paste it, and let's separate the footer as well. We'll take the sidebar also. Don't forget that we are taking the sidebar into the footer. Create another file which is footer.php. So our header is in header.php, our footer is in the footer.php. And don't forget that footer.php also has a sidebar. Now we just need to call the header and footer on the index page by using the php function, using the WordPress function get header. And again get footer. Now we need to, when I click on it, we need a separate page to show the full content. For that I'm going to create a file called single.php. I'm not naming just my convenient, it is the actual way of assigning the name. So we don't need the if else condition, we don't need the while loop, since it is only one function or only one post. I'm just replacing the excerpt with the content, that's it. And don't forget, you'll get the source code in the description. Now if you see, and we would like to show the comment as well. So to show the comment, it is really very simple. We just need to call a function, predefined function. The function name is cards comments template. I'm going to have this function inside the card footer. So now you can comment as well. Now I'm logged in as an admin, so if I post comment, it will be of my name, which is admin. And this whole thing is dynamic now, we don't have to worry about it. The next thing is we are going to show the post image while saving. Now if you see, as I already shown you, there is no option for adding the image. So for that we need to create a function called function.php. The functions.php actually controls this whole theme folder. Now inside that we are going to create a function, and that function will call a specific function which is called add theme support. So this function.php file is saying that we need a support for this particular theme, which is post thumbnail. And this function.php will not call this created function right now. It will call using the hooks. The hook here is after setup theme. So this is the hook in this WordPress, and this hook will call the created function, and the created function will again give the support to the theme as post thumbnail. Now if you refresh, you will see that there would be another uh, link like this, the featured image, but it is not showing up. Let me see what is the error. I think it's post thumbnails. If I refresh it again, Yeah, now you can see featured image has shown up. Let me attach an image for the second post. I have already I have downloaded already some of the images. It's in my desktop. So if I publish, likewise I'm going to do it for all the post. Fine, I'm updating it now. Once it is updated, it will not directly show you on the post, either on the index.php, either on the single.php. We are not going to see that. So for that, again we have to call a function on the index.php. Just before the exert, we are going to check whether there is an image or not. So for that, we have a function called has post thumbnail. And if there is a post thumbnail, then display the post thumbnail. And this post thumbnail will return the HTML tag of image. So to style it, I will surround this image tag with the div with class contains image, so that I can style the image. So if I refresh, I am getting an error. Let's see what it is. Thumbnail spelling is wrong. It's thumbnail. It is actually thumbnail. Fine. Now if you see, the image size is small. As I said, it is returning the image tag. I'm going to style it. Style the container has an image, and I'm going to give the width of 100% and the height as 300 pixel. Giving important just is going to override the bootstrap style. Fine. Now if you see, the images are fit to the screen, and we also need the image on the single.php as well. So just copy paste the whole thing which you have did or for the post thumbnail on index.php, just about the content. Now if you see, just above the content you will see the image, and that is also working fine. Now we don't need the permalink on the single.php because we don't need to go. It has already a full image, full details of this particular page, particular post. Now we have done this. Now we have to create some pages so that we can create menu. Let's create some pages. Let's call it as about us and contact. Once we created the pages, please note previously we were working on the post. Now it's pages. On the appearance there is no menu option. To activate the menu option, again we need to go to the function.php to get the theme support. Fine. The first thing, get into the function.php, and we have to register nav menus. It's plural, and we need to pass an array, and this array will have name and value pair. The name and value pair, uh, this is a we have to remember this primary what I'm writing here. I will show you why. And the associated value is underscore. This is the WordPress localization way of setting, and I'll give some name, random name, primary menu, my wish name. Fine. Now once we register the nav menu on the function.php, now WordPress understands that this function is needed for the dashboard, so it will add on the appearance tab. Now we can see the menu on the appearance tab. Now we are going to create a menu. So that menu will have home, about and contact. And if you see primary menu, this is what it is showing up on the bottom. So if I change it to any other name, primary my menu, it will be primary my menu now. Please note it's a display location because we need that. We'll be using it on the header. I have saved the menu. Now if you see, it says menu has been updated. Now if you see on the home page, you won't see any menu because the position we have not initialized any variable or like that. So for that, get into the header and let's create uh, just above the container, let's give a class called container. Again a container. Fine, no issues. We'll redesign whenever we need. To get the full width, I'm using the container fluid. And to use the menu, wp nav menu, and we need to pass an array. Again here the array is simply the theme location. On the display location we have clicked right, the same thing, the theme location. The theme location is the name which we have initialized on the function. The name which we have initialized on the function, this is the name which we have initialized. Just copy it and paste it here. Now we are getting the, now we got the menu. So let us style this menu as we need. And now let's style the list item. We'll add the float left so that instead of one below the other, it will be one side by side. Now we see why there is space. Let me remove the default margin and padding for the UL so that we don't get some unnecessary space. Let's paste this container inside the header. You see header is up there and below we have our container fluid. So let's paste this container fluid just inside the header. Now if we see again, there is the same mistake. So what we need is, so before that let me give some margin left to the list item. Let me give it 100%. Let me check. I think we are getting the padding because we have added the bootstrap class px and py. That's the reason. So to get the space between the anchor tag, I'll using the margin left. Let me change the color of the anchor tag as white, and now that's working fine. Now as I said, we are getting the padding and margin from the px and py. Let me show you. This is the reason why we are getting the unnecessary space. So for that, what we do is we'll just surround the padding classes to the name and description. Let's create a div, and this div will have the padding class. That's it. and now it would work fine. Remove the class header because it is already defined above. Remove the padding on the header. Now it's working as we need. Now if you click on contact, you will see again the post index.php is getting called. Sorry, the single.php is getting called. We don't need that. We need another file called page.php, and that should display the page details. So this template you see right now is coming from the single.php. Now we don't need that, so let's have page.php. Let's copy the same thing as from the index, except we don't need the while loop and the if condition. We just need the title and the content, and if there is any post there, we did not had any post, so we don't need that. So if I refresh, so this is the page which is dedicated only for the, let me remove the author name as well. This is the page which is dedicated for only the pages. As I mean, again I'm saying the page name is not defined by me, it is by the WordPress, which is already been built on the particular name set. Now we want to show the category and the recent post on the sidebar. So to add the category and recent post, we need to have a widget. At present we cannot access the widget on the dashboard. So just like we made available menu, just like that we are going to make available for the widget as well. So for that we need to get into the functions.php. So let's create another function, and this function you can give any name. I'm just naming it as enable widget. You need to pass an id and it's optional. So again register sidebar, and it will accept an array, and this array has some set of name and value pair, which I'll show you in a minute. So let me copy paste it some more time so that you would get some idea that it has many name and value pair. The last one will not have comma. Don't forget the colon, semicolon, or else you'll land into a trouble. The name is really important. This name will be showed on the widget tab, and the id is the second name, which is unique. You have to remember it. And before widget is simply the div which we want to surround our widget. We want a div with class side widget to surround, sorry for that, to surround our widget. And after widget there will be closing of the div which we have created with class side widget, and before title and after title. And every widget will have a title, so the title will have the heading level 3, and after title we want the heading level 3 to be closed. So once we have initialized, we can see, or we have enabled the widget on the dashboard. So again we need a hook. Now this time we are not adding any action, we are just modifying. So for that, add filter, and the hook name is widgets in it. Now if you see on the appearance, you will get the widget link. As I said, this is a name coming from this place is for sidebar. Let me drag category and the recent post. So this is the title, and which will be surrounded with h3 on the view of the website. I'm repeating again, you'll get the source code in the description. Now we have initialized the sidebar. Now we just need to call the sidebar from the footer. So again there is an if else function. If there is a sidebar, then call the function, and the function name is active sidebar. If there is an active sidebar, we need to pass the id. Let me pass. If there is sidebar, then show the sidebar using the function dynamic sidebar. Again we need to pass the id. This id is simply forgot the okay, this id is simply this id which we have created while registering the sidebar. Now if you refresh, it should be inside the, it's a string, not a constant variable. We didn't get it. Let me see why. The place is working, but the function is not working. I have just replaced the id, and let me check again. And that's working. Now if you see this div, this sidebar will be surrounded with our site widget class. I have added the padding as well. So let's call the class site widget, and let's give some, let me remove the bullet list from the list item. Let me add a border as well. Now we have a border. So let's add some margin to it. And so far everything is working fine. Now we just need to filter by name of the author. So if you see, this is the author name which is coming from index.php, and it should be inside the anchor tag so that we can get the author specific post. And we have a function called get author post url, and inside that we need to again pass a function. Get the author meta, and again we need to pass the id. I think I have not placed the function inside the, if you want you can change the name of the author. Now it's admin. Now if you, it says no post, it's because I have not surrounded the function inside the php. So let's surround this inside the php. Fine. Now if I click, we are getting the author specific post, and I would like to change the name from admin to my name. Just update it. And now if you refresh, the admin has been changed to my name. That's all for this video. Thank you so much for listening. Get the source code in the description.